Bath poets, engaged in a memoid fantasy, sipping wine from goblets, sucking warm oil flesh. Venus strokes us with velvety fingers, a mystic alliance inciting a languorous passion, open inside the flower, being both the sweetness and the scent of life, giving life, attracting life, inspiring love, sitting here, in between the spaces, the two universes connected, you and I in eternity's sunrise. I'll be the apocalypse and the next dimension, the seeming similarity between one moment and the next, the genesis, the passionate undercurrent, the embrace. I am the spiral dancer before time, the focus of many players united by language. Sitting here in between the spaces, the two universes connected, you and I in eternity's sunrise. I'll be the apocalypse and the next dimension, the seeming similarity between one moment and the next, the genesis, the passionate undercurrent, the embrace. I am the spiral dancer before time, the focus of many players, united by language. Sitting here in the garden of golden deities, I'm humble, sobbing diversion of many excursions from truth, for allowing the scabs to form around my heart, for allowing a web to be spun over my eye. The evasion of our passion and sorrow leaves us barren, as from this I must run by a mirror. Venus. Venus. Did you ever have the experience that words dance above your head with the wind? You pluck them from the air, your fingers tangling in the effort to bring them down into your language, into communion with paper, a ritual sacrifice, a feast to the free word. You pluck them, you have them there, you attempt to master them, like the butcher birds of the bush. But you cannot master the butcher birds of the bush. They are the free, unbound creatures of sound. Like the word, they writhe and curl over each other, whirling in ecstasy. In a dish of sound they make as their resonances meet, but just as they too desire. They writhe in pain, they shudder and moan as they realize with what agony they are drawn to this relationship of words strung together, strung up on meat hooks in a butcher's shop window, and it sells. It sells because the barbarous masses love death, the eternal paradox. So how do we tame this word? Let it like us, wrapping capacious thoughts into languorous sentences, poems, to breathe a word, to sing a word not yours. Let it answer a gentle rhythm within. Butcher shop, window words or hymns, let us take this silence. Valentine's Ocelot Sonata. Did you ever have that experience with words? Have you ever been experienced Venus? Yes, us, yes, us, yes, us. Just us, is it just us? Is it just us? Is it just us is a whore. To be governed is to be watched over, spied upon, legislated at, regulated, doctored, indoctrinated, preached at, assessed, valued, weighed, ordered about by men who have neither the right nor the knowledge nor the virtue. To be governed means to be at each operation, noted, registered, tax, stamped, licensed, organised, endorsed. It is to be on a pretext of general interest. Tax, exploited, extorted, monopolised, then at the least resistance, at the first word of complaint, to be garroted, machine gun, flayed, sold, betrayed, and finally deported. Just us is it, just us is a whore. A humblebee's hurdle through the garden of a hag, around a hollow tree, with the sprinkling the sprite of the night, met in between Mr. Moonlight's gloomy glory and the hurdle flight of a humblebee's night, became the gossip between himself and a hollow tree. Good evening, Mr. Hollow Tree. Good evening, Mr. Hummingbird, a graving voice appeared. First I thought it was Mr. Moonlight's gloomy glory turning my humming head into a whispering voice, but soon I saw the hollow tree, almost with a smile. Good evening, Mr. Hollow Tree. I replied, disembarking softly upon his chin. I have no rest for a moment with my confusion, I said. Your confusion from your humming head, I presume, he inquired paternally. My body felt warm and safe, resting up, relieved I had found somewhere safe to spend the night. My first night in Berlin, 41 nights Berlin, 64 nights Amsterdam, 18 days Christiania, 3-day Malmo, 41-night Reeperbahn, 174 days Italia. A hummingbee's hurdle through the garden of a hag, around a hollow tree, with the sprinkling of the sprite of the night, met in between Mr. Moonlight's gloomy glory, and the hurdle flight of a hummingbee's night became the gossip between himself and the hollow tree. Did you ever have the experience? Have you ever been experienced? Did you ever have the experience where words dance above your head with the wind, like the butcher birds from the bush? Did you ever have the experience where words dance above your head? You pluck them from the air. You attempt to master them, but you cannot master the butcher birds of the bush. They are the free unbound creatures of sound, like a friend of the word. They writhe and curl over each other, whirling in ecstasy, and a delicious sound they make. But just as their resonances meet, they too desire. They writhe in pain, they shudder and moan as they realize with what agony are they drawn to this relationship of words strung together, strung up on meat hooks in a butcher's shop window, and it sells. It sells because the barbarous masses love death, the eternal paradox. So how do we tame this word? Let it like us, wrapping dupacious thoughts into languorous, lascivious poems, sentences, to breathe the word not yours. Let it answer a gentle rhythm within butcher shop window words or hymns. Let us take this silence. Recorded Valentine's Day, 14/2/2022. Gung-Ho Jihad. Satan oscillate my metallic sonatas. The cat just jumped onto the mixing desk. Satan oscillate my metallic sonatas. Valentino talking to the cat, singing for the cat's band. St. Valentine's Day, St. Zeno Day, St. Conrad of Onzerbrook Day, St. Zeno, St. Valentino, Helen's Pain, Helen Time, Hell in Time, Helen Time, Helen Rhyme, Palindrome for Rome. Oscillate my metallic sonatas. Spock the cat just walked on the mixing desk. Shock, 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 shock. Venus, Venus, Venus. SS, SS. Venus, SS. Venus, Venus. Ollie, wop. Ort, op, stop. Ort, op, stop. Black ops, stop it. Stupid, stop, stupid, stop. Shock. The bath poets engaged in amoeboid fantasy, sipping wine from goblets, sucking warm oil flesh. Venus strokes with his velvety fingers. Mystic alliance, inciting a languorous passion over and inside the flower.
I think it's obviously to
Big.
back marks the
Estral K-Cup, backwards, Red Rose of Disorder, Star Rats, OK Computer, KK, Eminem. Zombie from the Bengals who run the end zone coach Costa, Cincinnati Bengals cat the Super Bowl today. 14/2/2022. St. Zeno. St. Valentino. Who was Satan's seven saints on St. Valentine's Day? Meow, 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 meow. These cats are singing backwards. These cats are walking backwards. These fast walkers, these sideways walkers. These walkers. Are you Mr. Walker? Phantom Mastigoso. Mr. Walker, Mr. Walker, Ocelot, 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 Valentino, Valentino, Zeno, backwards, SK Mask, MASKE, KSAM.